Happy thing? Oh, so you are Norwegian. That's cool. How do you like your free healthcare? Here in America, we don't got that. Walls plans? I don't know what that means. Oh, I don't. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. In fact, I think you would be hard pressed to find an average American who does like it. Unless that person happens to be wearing a Make America Great Again cap. I think most Americans, by and large, are against the fucking wall. It's such a stupid idea. Oh boy. Gladska, no. That wasn't one of the reasons for the win. Jesus, that's a fucking question right there. Let me tell you. I don't think you realize how complex that question you just asked actually is. The answer to that question actually is. So I could get into all the reasons why Donald Trump won the presidency if that's what you want, but short answer, no, he did not win because he promised to build a fucking wall. That's the short answer. If you want the long answer, it's going to be like a fucking rant. So if you want that, you let me know. I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. But just realize it's going to be like 3 layers deep in American politics. $10. I think I can do an adequate job answering the question in 10 minutes. Okay. So essentially what happened was America since about the 1970s, but probably maybe even, I would say it started with Ronald Reagan, right? Ronald Reagan fucking crushed it, right? He got like a overwhelming like majority landslide victory in the Electoral College. And he implemented a whole bunch of policies that today by the left are dubbed Reaganomics, that are essentially socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for the poor. Deregulate big business, deregulate Wall Street, deregulate, and then have faith that the free market would grow in an amount that would offset the massive tax cuts that he did. So basically, there was a guy, and I forget his name off the top, but he proposed that there is a curve in taxing the wealthy. Like, if you tax them too much, their incentive to work goes down, their incentive to innovate goes down, and they stop working. All right, you know what? Fine, but I'm still going to fucking answer the question. So, Reaganomics, right? However, it proved to be wrong, right? Like, it proved itself to be wrong. But after Reagan, along comes after Reagan, along comes Bill Clinton, right? And Bill Clinton's whole thing was a strategy called triangulation, right? You try to appease both sides of the aisle. You appease the Republicans, you appease the Democrats. You work both sides, and essentially what he did was he continued Reaganomics. He continued deregulation. He didn't fight for left policies, and he started the Democratic Party going down the path of being the corporate Democrats. So rather than being a left party, a party of the working people, the Democratic Party, as of Bill Clinton, in order to fight what they thought was an unstoppable right surge, they decided to start taking corporate money as well. And basically, they abandoned the middle class. The Democratic Party, which had long been the party of the middle class, abandoned the middle class in favor of corporate money. So that was Bill Clinton. Then along comes George W. Bush, possibly the worst president ever in American history. He had to respond to 9/11, and he started a whole bunch of fucking unnecessary wars, and he fucking cut the he did tax cuts for the wealthy. He did the normal Republican shtick as well, but like he's also like a huge war criminal. And then after Bush, we got Obama. And Obama was a ironclad centrist. He used Bill Clinton's triangulation. He says, gonna work with the left, and we're gonna work with the right, and we're gonna come with an agreement that everybody can live with, and it's gonna be shitty policy, and we're not gonna get anything done. So he ran with this idea that he was a progressive, this idea that he was for hope and change. And then really he was a corporatist. Really he was a centrist. All the hope and change was just a bunch of fucking lies. Now, as far as the presidency goes, Obama was pretty good as far as being a centrist. He did some good things. He did some bad things. But overall, decent president. But he wasn't what the country needed. If you rewind the clock like 20 years and we had Obama, he would have been good. He would have been a good president. But where he was in the timeline of American economics and American politics was the wrong fucking place, because the continual deregulation of Wall Street and big industry, the continual deregulation of corporations, the largely oligarchy way that the American political system has become, because now we're in a situation where the Republicans are run by big business, Democrats are run by big business. Democrats' strategy is to try and hold the middle ground, and Republican strategy is to be the opposition party to the Democrats. So the Republicans keep running to the right, and the Democrats keep trying to meet them halfway. So over the past 30, 40 years, American politics have been being dragged to the right because you had a true opposition party in the Republicans and then a complicit half-measure party in the Democrats that literally just followed the Republicans to the right, to where a actual centrist, who's probably center/center right, and if you're being very, very generous, you could call Obama center-left, but ironclad centrist is considered far out crazy to the left by the Republicans and by the American media. So the people are hurting in the country, and then you have this guy come along and say, hope and change, you can, like, we did it, like, we're gonna fix healthcare, we're gonna fix immigration, we're gonna fix this country. So what does he do? His healthcare plan, which was supposed to be like the big fix for healthcare, he originally had proposed a public option, but because the Democrats had become the party of concessions and the party of meeting the Republicans halfway, Obama didn't even propose the public option in law form. They had a supermajority, They had the House, they had the Senate, they had the White House, they had the fucking Supreme Court, they had everything. Democrats had everything they needed. And when it actually came time to put up or shut up, the bill that was proposed in the House and the Senate and that got signed into law was a right-wing healthcare plan called the individual mandate, which basically it put some protections in place to protect the American people. But mostly what it was just said, you have to buy healthcare, right? Oh, shit. You have to buy healthcare. So it was a right-wing solution to healthcare in the United States. It was a plan that was devised by the Heritage Foundation, and unfortunately, it was a I don't want to say it was a lie, but it was incorrect for the Obama administration to say you can keep your plan, you can keep your doctor. Because before Obamacare went into law, they had what were called skinny plans that were basically healthcare plans that didn't cover shit. But the monthly premiums were really low because they didn't cover shit. So you basically had healthcare plans that weren't healthcare. They were just a way to say you had healthcare without having anything be covered. Those went away. And with the elimination of skinny plans, a lot of people felt like they lost their insurance. So it really hurt the cause of revamping healthcare in the United States for Obama to have made that claim. So now when a real reformist comes along and wants to make change to healthcare, and he says you can keep your hospital, you can keep your doctor, now the right-wingers can say, I heard that before. But I digress. So Obama was a candidate who ran on hope and change, and we didn't get it. It was just another politician who made a bunch of promises and then didn't deliver. Then along comes a person who says, I'm an outsider. Oh, you got it? Nice. He says, I'm an outsider, and I know everything that's wrong with this country, and I'm going to fix it. And I'm going to fight for the common man, right? These trade deals are bad. The healthcare is bad. This is bad. That is bad. America's not great. We don't win anymore. America used to be the country where we would win. I'm going to make us win again. I'm going to make us great again. And then he started pointing to all the things that he said were the problems. So he correctly diagnosed that Americans were hurting. He correctly diagnosed that we were upset and angry and wanted change. And then he started pointing fingers at what the problems were. And some of the things that he pointed at were correct. The healthcare system was a problem. He pointed that out. The corruption in Washington is a problem. He correctly pointed that out. The media being biased and unfair is correct, and he was right to point that out. So he ran on a platform of the common man, anti-corruption, and populism, but he also ran on scapegoating immigrants. And I would argue that his scapegoating of immigrants was probably the least effective thing that he did on the campaign trail. It got him some support from like some crazy right-wingers who like have already like bit the hook of like, hey, immigrants are my problem. But by and large, people were willing to look past that because of the economic populism that he promised, the reform that he promised, the keep your jobs here, fight the trade deals, reform healthcare, drain the swamp, fight the establishment. That's the rhetoric that got him to the White House. That's what got him elected. And it's unfortunate that he also tied some racist scapegoating rhetoric in there as well. But also, equally unfortunately, he hasn't delivered on any of his populism. It turns out all of his populism was fake populism. It was all a lie. He hasn't done anything to help the common man. All he's done is deregulate, help big business, perpetuate the wars, and scapegoat immigrants. So he, instead of being like the best of both worlds, he was the worst of both worlds. And I think I answered that question in about 12 minutes, actually. So, yeah.